I got insecure. I was like, dang, he's better than me. But not in a competitive way. It wasn't competitive. You know what I mean? Have you felt that way? Like, has your kid ever beat you at basketball or something, or like done?
No.
Okay, see, he's not beating me at anything. But then I'm like, it's not a competition, but it's just that thing that that thing when you can identify like there's something else somebody else in the room that's good at something, or good in the same way you might be good at something, and then it's like, oh, it's not competition, but it's like game recognized game maybe.
Yeah, I was gonna say not competition, it's recognition.
Yeah.
That's okay. There you go. Good language. Yeah, it wasn't competition; it was recognition. I was like, ooh.
Oh, I like how you said that.
Yeah. Well, you gotta hear me out.
Well, what did you mean by it?
No, bro. Listen, it's
not
competition.
It's
recognition.
Got it.
Say it like that.
That's good. I like it.
Yes, thank you.
We should do that.
I want to instigate this somehow.
No, we're getting into our agreement phase where we argue about agreeing.
We vigorously agree.
Vigorously agree. I'm getting pumped about the Sun Came Up song.
All right, so that's what we're going to talk about because
that's
what I was about to say too. Like,
I'm getting pumped about it. Like I've been reproducing it in my mind, like not right or wrong, just kept producing it in different ways.
The Sun Came Up song?
Yeah, the sun came up. That is enough to praise. To praise.
I'm bringing up the
and then
lyrics.
that little part right there.
What did I say about the bass?
Bass got to walk.
We're gonna walk. We're going on a little bass.
We're gonna stroll.
We're gonna stroll with the bass.
Boom.
Dan here's a.
I'm just gonna read the words if I can find them here.
No, you're not.
You don't want me to?
No.
Dude, play this.
Yeah.
I want to hear that.
Okay.
Let's give him some magic, bro.
Early form.
Let's give him some early form, and then we can just hear it, and then we can all like it together.
All right. I like that. I like where your head's at. I want to find the lyrics that you have for it.
The sun came up. That is enough.
To praise you.
And I love that lyric because
where are the lyrics?
What's that
Bo?
reference, Bo, where it's like as long as the sun comes up, isn't there like a scripture reference around that? Like it's striking a chord with like
the rising of the dawn.
Yeah, well, as long as the rising of the sun.
From the rising of the sun to the setting of the same.
It's almost like as long as the
name
sun
of the
shall
Lord
remain.
be praised.
Like
Yeah, I don't know.
The song remains the same.
This feels like a
lyric
from another song, but more than scripture.
Just saying.
What'd you say?
Guys, I found it.
Oh.
It was actually in a photo.
Oh.
And I'm surprised I thought to search there.
I could have just opened my computer.
Get a little
True.
lyric.
I have it in a document right here.
Yeah, let's just get the ditty, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay. All right. The sun came up, and that is enough to praise you. The breath in my lungs, it is enough to praise you. praise, to praise. Water in my cup, more than enough to praise you. Glimpses of love, always enough to praise you, to praise you, to praise.
Yeah.
Like some ooze there.
Little ooze. Some little sorry ooze.
That's it. That's great.
I love it, man. I love it.
More than enough.
Enough is enough. I've had enough. Ooh.
Yeah, let's get
To
content.
praise you. Enough to praise. Enough to praise. Is that right? Enough to praise.
Boom.
Oh,
Enough
that's more
to
of like
praise.
a taggity tag
Yeah, it's
tag.
tag.
Yeah.
Oh,
Tagalicious.
tag
Gotta
work.
get tagalicious at the end of that because you're gonna want to, when you're singing that, you're just gonna want to hang on that enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's enough.
It's gonna really come like that little
Enough.
instrumental piece.
You get really breathy on that.
Really, Effie.
To praise. Thank you.
Gibby. Thank you, Gibby.
This
So that's
is
what
the
we've been working on.
Gildy Sumstrum.
Jill,
That's a little work in
Gildy
progress.
Strum's still malicious.
The song is called Enough, and in parenthesis it says, a simple song of praise.
Simple song of praise.
As a praise song should be. Simple.
Well, I think that was partly out of our conversations about the lyrical content was out of our conversations about like praise music becoming really formulaic and, you know, verse, chorus, verse, chorus, bridge. Like,
Build, back to the bridge.
Anthem.
it was like,
Refrain,
nothing
choir.
wrong. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's a
Yeah.
thing. But it was like, well,
Yeah.
what if we just wrote a simple song of praise? Like, we were talking choruses and praise choruses and some of those things, to where you can just kind of hang out with a phrase a little bit with God. Kind of cool. Meditate on it a little bit.
In the morning, you may play, the sun came up, that is enough. But by night, boom, the
I've had enough.
sun came, I've had enough.
Well, that was kind of there's a double meaning in that last lyric. You know, enough is enough. You know, I've had enough. It can go both ways because like you can get to all right, enough is enough. I've had enough.
Right.
But if you're mindful, you know, the sun came up and that is enough. You know, at the end of the day, then you're like, enough is enough. I've had enough. So that no matter what happened in that day, no matter how it went, that you are finishing the day going, well, yeah, enough is enough, and I've had enough to praise you. So regardless of what the circumstances were in the day, I'm gonna praise you. Fun little double meaning for me. You know, I love those. Like a triple meaning sometimes.
Well, the more I listen to our songs too, the more I discover of the double meaning of words. Like in the song "Gone," oh no, in the song "Home," through storms they weather, they wind up together, which still spells the word wind. I don't know why. I saw the word wind, and I'm like, I know it's wind up together, but wind and weather, it's there in an interesting way.
Yeah, why?
There's some depth in there, in the simplicity. Why?
And then
Well, you also have the playoff of wine and when it fails, there's always the booze.
yeah,
Yeah, there was some fun stuff there.
the whining, the failing, the booze, the wine.
Yeah, the wind, storms.
It's good structure too. another one that I appreciate is it's slipped inside your mind, fell into your soul, broken to your heart.
Yeah.
Deep in love I fell. So it's not a negative. it's a
Well, I mean, I think when you're writing, aren't you? You know, you come up with the phrase, and then you're weaving a thread, right? You're not just like writing these verses and choruses like arbitrarily, like, oh, I like the way that sounds. You're trying to weave
Oh yeah.
that connection point.
they're not completely random
Right.
thoughts, or
You got to weave a tapestry.
or verses.
Yeah, you can't just.
They're relative.
I don't know if you have to, but that's why I like to write. I enjoy that. I mean,
Well, you don't have to, but I'm saying I think you have to if you want to. If you want to have that connection with an audience, where if an audience is listening to something linear, like I love when things connect, and I think most people would appreciate that. But
Yeah.
actually, I don't know that most people would appreciate that, but I would hope that as you're listening to lyrics, you're hearing the story, and it's bringing you back to something that was said in the beginning, and you can find those connection points.
Yeah.
That's not easy to do, but when it's done well, it can feel simple.
Right, and then for the music to allow you to feel it, kind of just it almost expedites your understanding of what's going on or where it's going to go. And I think of a song like "Gone."
Mm-hmm.
Once upon a windswept world, a windswept girl got swept away inside her mind, caught up in the atmosphere. Right? It's just like there's painting this.
Oh, you just thought you see
picture,
wind,
but then
yeah.
musically also, it seems very.
caught up in her atmosphere.
Sorry, caught up in her atmosphere.
She is the wind.
Thank you. I appreciate that correction because
it's those little words.
It's an important distinction.
In singing it, I think it's easier to remember than just trying to remember like when you're speaking it out loud. But
words matter.
But
right?
then musically, you feel like you're soaring with it. You feel like you're in that atmosphere. The music is ambient in a way and
Atmospheric, yeah.
atmospheric.
That happened to me last night because yesterday you said you made a distinction between plural and singular on fruit. Fruit of the Spirit versus fruits of the Spirit.
Right.
And it wasn't something that was strange to me. Like I had never heard that, but I had not remembered that. And so it just like reminded me of that. And so then last night when I was having conversation, not about that, but just that came into play. And then I said fruits of the Spirit. And then I was like, wait, not fruits, it's fruit of the Spirit. And so I corrected my own language because, based off of like what I had been reminded of when you had shared that. But it's like those little apostrophe S's or those little conjunctions in phrases that we're saying matter. It changes a direction of thought and all of that. So even like you just said, her atmosphere versus the atmosphere, it changes the entire narrative of the story.
Because she's caught up in
her
mind.
atmosphere.
It's her mind.
Yeah, right.
Her
Instead of the atmosphere, which is the collective of what is that? Just outside of herself. Now it's
She drifted there. She landed here. And now she can decide.
Well, interesting that it kind of something I hadn't really realized before, but I think in the way that I write lyric is similar or is certainly influenced by sermon writing. And having done that for so long, so looking at song as a way of communicating, and that the thought that I've kind of been vocalizing for a while now about, I don't know if another sermon will change the world, but a song might. And so in writing lyric, they're pulling the thread through or are really adjusting those words and phrases so that they're not, merely standalone kinds of things, but they could stand alone, but they really work well together. And so like in sermon writing, that would be, you have some kind of hook, and then usually like 3 points, but they're not separate. They're all supporting, in a text that's pulling you through, and then a conclusion that is, coming back to that initial hook. And that's a sermon, and it's very similar to a song.
I mean, this is like what makes a great comedian, in my opinion. Like there's comedians, they're all over the place, and who doesn't love a great comedian? But they'll tell a joke and the joke's funny, and then they'll tell another joke and the joke's funny, and then they'll just tell jokes. But then there's like the comedians that will get up and then they'll tell a joke, and that joke will springboard into a story that weaves, and then they end their entire set back to the original joke somehow.
The
it
end
ties
is even
in
more funny because it references.
Well, they've sparked a thought. It's like a sermon, really, or a great song that sparks the first word or first phrase sparks a thought or a connection, and then it circles you back. I guess we like circles, huh?
We love circles.
We love circles.
Have a point, right?
Well, yeah, but like and carry that, yeah.
Well, in communication, I usually refer to that as like a bookend thing. You have bookends.
Sure.
That you're coming back to. But yeah, I've heard a lot of comedians do that really, really well. And then you get that, oh, no, yeah, kind of moment at the end. It's like, oh, that was sick,
It's like the mic drop.
Yeah, it's like, oh, yeah. I mean, and there's no encore. I mean, they're done. That's the end of the set.
Yeah.
They nailed it.
That happens in songwriting, too. It doesn't always have to happen in songwriting.
No, doesn't always have to happen in comedy either. It's a technique that I particularly enjoy.
Same. And I think when it does, that's where I feel like I discover genius. And so even from a musical perspective, it's not a try, but it's just like I want whatever the first thing somebody hears musically, I want that to stay thematic, and then I want that to somehow appear again. Like I don't want it to just disappear, but you don't want to overdo it, because you can over communicate something as well, right? Keep trying to drop breadcrumbs to something, and it's like, okay, that's too much. But if it's done well, whatever that first line is or first note or melody thing can loop through and can be a variation of it and pay homage to the first time you heard it, and then by the end it comes back in a different way, and it just creates that circle of
I don't know if this is a great example, but it's the one that comes to my mind is The Greatest Love, where there's a day coming where faith is no more, right? But then and the song builds beautifully, and then at the end, there's a day coming when love is enough. When we see Jesus, the grace is up. It's like, oh yeah, and is that
yeah, I mean that's an example. For me, it's like Through the Night. That's how the song starts. It's like, and that's how it ends.
Yeah,
whatever happens in the beginning is the hyphen, It's like 1948 to 2006. It's like that's your lifespan, and then there's that dash. That dash is the song, and then there's the dates at the end, and then there's thoughts all between. But it's a great song.
Yeah, I always appreciate and think it's special when it's a cohesive thought.
Why do we? I was going to say this based off something we were talking about earlier when Dan said, the working title. Was it Sun Came Up?
Oh, that is not the name of the song.
No, I know, but just working tight.
No.
Working tight. Working tight. Okay, can you see this, everybody? On camera? We're doing this. So whatever it is, what is it called?
Enough.
Okay, fine. I won't talk. Oh, that's the name of the song.
Enough.
A simple song of praise.
Enough.
No, but it said
Are we gonna do that? Are we gonna do
a simple song of praise?
a simple song of praise.
It's a very
Enough
Rich
is the name of
Mullins
the
thing
song.
to do.
Why
too.
do we?
A simple
Why?
song of praise.
Why do
in
we?
parentheses.
Societally, why do we demean simple?
No.
'Cause
Why does simple make us uncomfortable? When why, there's the expression like keep it simple, stupid, or like, whatever. Why does simple denote lack of thought or lack of expertise or or not good? Like why does simple have to be? When the song itself, it said the sun came up, that's enough, and it's just really just kind of highlighting for me when I hear it. It's just like all we have is one day. No, right? Yesterday gone, tomorrow, like what? All we have is right now, like just this one day. Sun came up and then it goes down. That's what we have. And then we go to sleep.
Enough is enough.
Yeah. Why do we shy away from simple? Why does that make us uncomfortable? Ooh, he's getting his engines.
Well, as a human,
As a simple human?
I think we like to complicate things because if it's complicating it makes more of us, or maybe in a totally other dimension, someone would say, I've never known simplicity. I've only ever known complicated
complexity.
and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if it's simple, it may not be profound or worth it or something to that effect.
Or
But
others may be able to do it, and I don't hold the. Yeah, let me not answer my own question. What do you think, Bo?
Go ahead and answer your own
Well,
question.
no, it's just like, yeah, maybe there's like a complexity factor that we look for as human beings when we are chasing hierarchy or pursuing, like, to prove ourselves to others about what I understand and what you don't understand, and I feel like we have talked about this, but I think it really is freeing to talk about it more, and for others to maybe even hear that and understand, like, stop trying to overcomplicate things, or find validation in and you understanding the complexity of something, or there's some things we're not meant to understand. I guess that's the thought too, but.
or when I'm old and dying, then I'll cherish the little things in life.
Okay. So forget the journey.
You know.
Forget the journey. Let's just get simple later.
No, like, or really, what you resolve is the deep value of things that are simple and.
Well, I have a lot of thoughts on this particular topic. Written a little bit about it as well. But the expertise oftentimes, not always, but oftentimes depends on complexity. So in our particular cultural context, you can typically follow the money and kind of that'll tell you a story about the whys, because I'm very into the whys. So how did complexity become like the mark of expertise in any given field? Religion would be the field that I'm in, I guess.
Sure.
So it's one I encounter a lot. So expertise, if you want to be an expert, the more complicated you make it, then the fewer experts you can have. And the fewer experts you can have, then the more marketable you are, the more valuable commodity that you are, whether that be financially or just in people seeking you out, or your own self-worth, or how you value the work that you do. So if you keep it complex and really inaccessible to people and give just enough to be like, I can do this, you can't, but you're going to need me and depend on me, then that's job security, whether that be financially or, again, self-worth or identity pieces and things like that. So if you start to identify as an expert in a given field, then it is tempting to keep it complex. And so then you get some of the phraseology in there about, that we want to go deeper into this. And the deeper you go, the more complex it gets. And I made the argument that complexity is really shallow. So some people say that simple is shallow and complex is deep. And I think that simplicity allows for maximum depth. So if you drill down on a simple thought, a simple expression, a simple movement, then that allows you to go much deeper, much faster, where complexity really keeps things really shallow and wide. And so there's not much drilling down on anything.
Concentration's too divided for any one of those pieces of thought to.
It just kind of sits on the surface.
Yeah.
It's very surfacey, which is the exact opposite of what's typically pitched with complexity from experts. So if we think of Jesus as an expert,
Sure.
world creator, life giver, savior.
Maybe. Yeah. Let's just call him an expert. Yeah.
Miracle worker, greatest teacher ever. And we look at him and he says, this complex law that you're all really struggling to navigate, 600 plus Old Testament commands. And, teachers of the law had a really tough job. Like the Pharisees they were the religious experts, and they all get a really bad rap. I think they had a brutal job. They had
Trying to explain all that. Yeah.
Well, they got to explain it. They have to understand it. Then they have to explain it in an ever-changing cultural dynamic and enforce it, these
Right.
laws. And so it's like, whoa, okay, what a horrible job. I don't want that job. That's a brutal job, really difficult. And Jesus is like, I'll sum it up for you. What he does is he simplifies it. He's like, you're so worried about all these things. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and love your neighbor as yourself. All the law and the prophets hang on these two commands.
Boom. Now you're drilling.
Which is mind blowing. Like to go, oh, we can get out here on, are you tithing off your spice rack? Your
your cumin,
and your mint and your dill.
You can have all my cumin. I hate cumin.
Did you eat a piece of grain from a grain field on the Sabbath day?
Did you rescue your sheep out of a well
before the sun went down? Or did you touch someone and they were healed? Like on the Sabbath. All these. The minutia of this that they were very hung up and caught in. He's like, oh, well, if it's not love, it's not the law. If it's not love for God, if it's not love for people, then it's not the law. It's not of God. And so love is the simplicity that allows for real maximum depth and the foundation to evaluate all the other laws off of and how we engage with them. So I like his model. Big fan.
Amen.
Big fan. But I think musically we see the same thing. Like you can have really complex pieces of music, and those things can be appreciated, just like other expertise and complexities can be appreciated. I'm not a hater. I mean, they can be appreciated. But how accessible are they really? And if you're trying to communicate and connect with people in the masses, you'll notice that simple melodies, simple structures, simple song constructs, they really impact people.
They can take them deep.
Yeah, in really powerful ways. So I think we see it in music. We see it in all forms of communication. Big fan.
That was well said.
The Beatles wrote really accessible music and really accessible themes in an era where people were desperate for hope and peace and love, and you get
she loves you. Yeah.
Yeah.
With a love like that. Well, and then we have the walrus. I don't know what the walrus is.
I mean, they were also innovating as well in their simplicity. They were like the first group to be multi-track recording in a new way. Like they had like a 4-track. Like the other bands were like coming into spaces and hitting record and sort of like recording everything into like one tape machine, and then all of a sudden they're like, okay, we have this 4-track, we can layer sounds and we can do things, and so that was really innovative as well. Yeah, the simplicity aspect it goes back to like over polishing something that doesn't need to be polished. In fact, a lot of things that have value that are, let's say, old, like even just like watches or something, if you polish away the patina, shall we say, then you devalue the item. It's almost like the sign of its age or of its original form is more valuable than restoring it or rehabbing it or whatever. And so the simplicity aspect that we're talking about today is a great reminder for me, personally, because just don't over engineer it. Don't overthink it. Just keep it simple. If it sounds right, it's right. You know what I mean? But I'm glad you brought the Pharisees into it.
Why is that?
Because I was thinking about that when we started talking about it, and then you explained it in a good way. And I also like that you didn't roast the Pharisees. I think you have a nice perspective on the complexity of what their job was. Like you said, the Pharisees get a bad rap, especially in evangelical Christianity, where it's like, don't be the Pharisees, like Jesus hated the Pharisees and the Sadducees. And
Well, he definitely loved them.
that's
Yeah,
for sure. Like that's what I'm saying. But the ideology, the theology is sort of that the Pharisees represented everything wrong in the world. And
I always think it's funny that we're real quick to point out that, I mean, Jesus ate with sinners. Jesus ate with sinners. Yeah, he also ate with Pharisees a lot.
Yeah,
and the reason he got in trouble was not because he was eating with sinners. It was because he was bringing sinners to the Pharisees' houses. He was mixing mixing up the social dynamic, and that's what people were having a hard time with. It was like, leveling the playing field.
And Jesus was in that world. He was a rabbi, right?
Yeah.
So he was in the synagogues teaching. He was teaching a different gospel, but or he was teaching the fulfillment of that law.
Well, Pharisees wanted to hang out with him. They wanted to hear what he had to say.
And that was a whole other thing, right? Is that there were Pharisees that
believed. I mean,
that believed, and that stirred the pot internally with their community as well. And
you think it was Jesus was like the Pharisees are halfway where they need to be, or they're all the way in the wrong direction? I mean, like even Paul was a Pharisee or Sadducee, and it was like 90 miles an hour, kind of going the wrong way. He's kind of picked up, turned the other way, and then he goes 90 miles an hour in the other way.
Yeah, I don't know that these were even other way kinds of things, because sometimes we think of it in pretty extreme terms.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean,
Right.
the reality is like if you're off a little bit, over time,
Course correction,
yeah, you get further and
further
further
away
away from what your intended target was. So some of this is course correction stuff that I think Jesus was bringing to them. That wasn't like, because it's easy to think, oh well, I may be off just a little bit, but it's okay because I'm not going the wrong direction. I'm still heading in.
I'm heading north.
I'm heading north.
Right.
Just a little north
Until you're headed west.
just a little northwest.
Yeah.
Right now. And so it's like, oh no, let's get back on point, which is why Jesus is so great, because he gives us true north, so that we can align with him and trust him to know